So let me introduce first of all our professors. So here, Professor Stavros Poulopoulos, head of the Chemical and the Materials Engineering Department. Also, Professor Enrico Marsili, Associate Professor of Chemical and Materials Engineering. And me, my name is Aida Sultan Ali. I'm a Senior Manager of our School for Admission and the Recruitment Issues. Also here, we have Lunara Sakieva. She is a Marketing Manager of School of Engineering and Digital Science. So first of all, we will have like a presentations of our dear professors. Then we'll have question and answer session about admission recruitment, about Chemical and Materials Engineering Department, about Nazareth University. So if you have any questions, please, you are welcome, write to our chat. After the presentation, you can use your microphones. So Professor Stavros, are you here?
Yes, thank you, Aida.
You're welcome.
Give me a second to share. Okay, I can share, yes? One second. So first of all, I would like to wish Happy New Year, health, happiness, luck, and success to whatever you wish to do during next year. And I hope the situation, this COVID and relevant restrictions will be improved pretty soon. I'm the head of department, and I'm glad to have this opportunity to present our program. Okay, I hope shortly and in an interesting way. And together with me is a very good colleague, Dr. Marsili, Enrico Marsili, who I believe will give a very also good tale about chemical engineering after me. So I'm going to discuss, I hope briefly, about the profession, the career, our department, and research, and let's say what is happening with our graduates before concluding about our program. So let me move this icon. Okay. What is chemical and materials engineering? Chemical and materials engineering, as you see, is the discipline which makes use of scaled-up chemical and physical transformations. And please note the words scaled up, in order to turn raw materials into useful and marketable products. Okay, or to put it simply, to improve quality of life by utilizing chemical and physical transformations. So we take natural resources plus energy, we apply principles from chemistry, mathematics, and different disciplines in order to provide society with all these daily products that we are using. And I said, okay, make a note about scale up. We are really interested in moving a process from the lab scale to the industrial scale. Okay, because you know, nowadays we have a lot of solutions in the lab, but in actually to go to the industrial, to large scale, okay, we face a lot of challenges. Let me make a note that all the pictures that you see in the presentation are pictures from our graduates or from our students in the lab. And as I was talking about scaling up, and I believe Enrico will give you more information later, you see today the challenges with COVID. We have the vaccine, okay, but there are some still challenges regarding its storage conditions, okay, and its production in order to satisfy now the global demand. Okay, if we wish, okay, to go back to some kind of normality. And our discipline is at the forefront of innovation. Okay, even if we believe that we have some solutions today, we always need to take into account new needs, new restrictions, new challenges, and create innovative solutions. And you see, we have new needs all the time: environmental remediation, okay, towards zero emission factories, new materials, pharmaceuticals, mineral processing. And as I said, I believe Enrico will give you some, will expand, okay, this slide and give you more ideas. And why materials? Our department was renamed from chemical engineering to chemical and materials engineering a couple of years ago. And we decided so in order to depict, of course, the expertise in the department, the expertise of the faculty, and to follow the international trends. On this slide, you see the design of Boeing 777. Yes, I think it was constructed in 1994, while Boeing 787, okay, was produced 15 years later. And you see with color, let's say the progress and the utilization of advanced materials, okay, from one construction to another. Okay, specifically the use of composites. Okay, composites we call materials that they use two or more materials to provide something new with advanced properties. And this thing, okay, allows also fuel economy, okay, and so on. And why to be a chemical and materials engineer? Because you see, I believe these are very strong arguments. It is a growing profession globally. You have career flexibility. You can work individually or you can work in companies, small or big companies. Okay, you can travel and work globally or work locally. You may start your own business. And of course, it's also about money, okay? We know, okay, the anxiety of all people in order to be able to feed their families. And regarding the employment opportunities, okay, because you usually ask who is employing, who is in need of a chemical materials engineer, and you know the answer is everyone. We may work in the petrochemical and oil and gas industry, materials industry, you know, many different directions, biotechnology, in the energy sector, in the production of pharmaceuticals, to provide environmental services for biochemicals. You see the options. You may work as a consultant independently, or you could become a health and safety engineer. There are options in the food and drink industry. Okay, you may stay in education or combine your bachelor degree with the right one in business and finance, proper master, okay, and then change your field of work. Okay, and I'm using some statistics from USA that pretty much they say the truth, you know, for the whole world. If I'm not mistaken, this table comes from data based on 2015. And you see that our starting salary, meaning without any master PhD diplomas, okay, is at the top of this list. And generally, you may consider that we come second only to doctors. The trend throughout the years, you see, is positive regarding our salary, which is very important. It means that there is a steady need, okay, for chemical engineers too in the market. The job is not saturated, and I just found, you know, some data about salaries in 2021. And you see, chemical engineering, regarding the mean annual salary, is at the top of this list. Okay, and material science and engineering has a very good position also. Okay, so from civil engineering, electrical, mechanical, as you see, our mean annual salary, okay, is the largest one. And of course, you know, you may ask, okay, professor, we understand that the salary is good, the conditions are better, but what is happening with job positions? Are these numbers just for a few of us? No. If you check this table, again, come from USA, combined chemical and material engineers, okay, they find a lot of positions in the market. And actually, all trends show that more positions are to be opened, you know, for engineers over the next years, and specifically for chemical engineers. Make a note, you see, for biomedical engineers, because we have a very interesting master program also in the field, and we have, okay, the appropriate faculty to help you in this direction. And of course, there are some famous chemical engineers like Dolph Lundgren. I don't know if you know the Swedish film actor and director. He played in Rocky, if you know the series with Stallone. Donald Sutherland, a very good also actor. Cindy Crawford, you know, supermodel, studied chemical engineering, and the president of China is also a chemical engineer. And if I did not convince you, you may also go to space having a chemical engineering diploma. Okay, as you see, okay, from these examples. And you know, I'm always joking that probably Cindy Crawford will come back to Nazareth University to proceed with her studies. But my point in these two slides is that the chemical engineering diploma will be useful for you, whatever you choose to do in your life. Okay, our program follows American standards, and I believe pretty soon we go for accreditation, which means that we give a lot of emphasis on the so-called soft skills, like negotiation, presentation, communication, okay, with a variable audience. So these qualities can be used whether you work as a pure chemical engineer or, let's say, you have a slightly different career path. And let me say something. By 2025, the world population will be a bit over 8 billion people. This is a huge number. You understand this? So new materials and better processes are essential if we wish to continue with the present standard of living. Okay, and chemical and materials engineering is at the center of a new industrial revolution where economic wealth goes hand in hand with environmental and social sustainability. Okay, because you know today the challenges about climate change, okay, and what is happening. And what about Kazakhstan? Okay, you may ask, okay, I want to stay professor in Kazakhstan. Is this discipline the right one for me? You know, Kazakhstan is a paradise, okay, and can be the opportunities for chemical engineers and materials engineers, you know, can go up to the skies. Okay, you know better than me, or you should know better than me, that the country is in top 15 globally regarding oil reserves. Okay, it has the second largest uranium, chromium, lead, zinc reserves. the 5th largest copper reserves. And it is in top 10 regarding coal, iron, and gold. Actually, is in top, I would say 20 for almost everything and anything. Okay, people used to say that 95% of the periodic table can be found in Kazakhstan underground. Okay, so your task, okay, as the future generation in the job market, your task, your duty, your obligation is not only to extract, okay, these reserves, but to transform them into valuable products, okay, with increased value, and at the same time ensuring social and environmental sustainability. And if I did not convince you so far why you should become a chemical and materials engineer, okay, if all these arguments about the profession, the career, and the opportunities and the salaries are not enough for you, okay, I would say you may become a chemical and materials engineer just because, you know, it is fun. It is really fun, you know, studying and along the expression, playing in the lab. And of course, now the next question arises. Okay, Professor, maybe we are convinced, but why to study chemical and materials engineering at Nazareth University? So let me present the department. Okay, admission to our undergraduate program took place for the first time something like 10 years ago. We had our first batch of graduates in 2015, and currently we are running 4 programs. The undergraduate chemical and materials engineering 1, a master in chemical and materials engineering, a master in biomedical engineering. I told you before, make a note also for biomedical engineering. Okay, that if you wish, it gives another also flavor for all our programs. And of course, a PhD in chemical engineering. We are 1 professor, 7 associate, 8 assistant professors, okay, and 3 postdoc researchers, 8 teaching assistants, and 4 lab tech assistants also support the department to provide the best, let's say, learning experience for our students. And okay, all our instructors, of course, they hold PhD diplomas from world leading universities, and even our teaching assistants, okay, they hold a master diploma. And you know, the program is a diverse subject designed to produce engineers with a solid technical foundation and background. However, we have, you know, some elective courses in order to make our program a bit more spicy and provide students with the opportunity to see different directions for their future. Okay, and the learning process is based, of course, on hands-on experience, project work, based learning, and many case studies. And let me present quickly the program without going into many details. Okay, the first year is pretty much common for all the departments in the school of engineering and digital sciences. Okay, and as we move on to second and especially third year, okay, more core chemical engineering courses are added. You see, for second year in organic chemistry, thermodynamics, basic principles in chemical engineering, and fluid mechanics. Third year, okay, as I said, we move to more core chemical engineering courses, complemented, of course, some courses like fundamentals of management or managerial economics, so that you can dealing with many challenges in your daily life during working. And during the last year, you see we have more electives offered so that you may choose subjects of your own interest. And we have maybe the most important course in the program, the capstone project. During the capstone project, students, are working in groups in order to design, an industrial facility from A to Z for a given product. You design everything. You choose the processes, you choose the reactions, the reactors, separation units, technologies, you estimate balances, energy, material balance, everything. You do the whole job for an industrial facility. So you have the chance there to utilize the knowledge that you have acquired during your these years of study. And as I said, we have a number of electives for chemical engineering and material engineering directions. And in this slide, you see an overview how our program moves throughout years, incorporating also some general engineering courses, some courses from humanities, or some economic and management courses. We have excellent, I believe, facilities regarding both computer labs and wet labs, very well equipped. And our students have the chance to participate at least once in international conferences and events. Of course, you understand that a lot of these activities have been suspended lately because of COVID-related restrictions, but believe me, as soon as we go back, students will start enjoying also again these benefits. As I said, all photos are real. I'm not downloaded any photos from internet or something like this to impress you. There are many research lines in the department. What you wish? You wish biofilms and biocorrosion, like Enrico works. Environmental pollution, materials, polymers, food, advanced energy materials, nanomaterials, I don't know, aerosols, safety. There are many directions, and I believe each student will find a topic of individual interest. And of course, our faculty publishes extensively and participates in the global events all the time. And our research, is not only basic research, although I really like basic research, but it provides also solutions relevant to society and vulnerable groups of people. Like you see here, Professor Mabai designed and energy storage systems, for these people. If you wish to get more information about the department, you may find most of the details on our website, and you can go easily to NU and UKZ and then direct it, throughout the web pages. And please do not hesitate to contact directly me or anyone from the faculty should you need some extra information. You will find all details about faculty, our emails, everything. Directions, everything is shown here. And let me give you quickly, yes, I hope I will be finished in 6 minutes. Let me give you quickly an idea about our first graduates, bachelor graduates. Because you may ask, professor, this is a nice presentation, this is a good discipline with a nice department, but what is happening?
Professor, sorry, there are some shapes in the screen. So some shapes in the screen, yeah. Some darks, yeah, they here and in the bottom.
Now?
Not in the bottom, yeah. So yeah, could you just delete them because people are, it's interrupting. Now, yeah, it's better now. So and this one is also, yeah. Could you just?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, some gray also appear all the time about the people asking to be admitted to the session. Okay. So I was saying that from out of 43 graduates, 42 found a job or proceeded to further studies. Okay, and regarding the ones who found a job, you know, they work in large local or international companies like Schlumberger, Pricewaterhouse, okay, KMGP, Tengiz Chevroil, okay, and Tico Foods Kazakhstan. But I would like to move on to the people that pursued further studies. Okay, sometimes, you know, this is a common choice worldwide. If you cannot find a job, a proper job, okay, in the market. But let's see, okay, the answer will be given by the universities that were chosen by our graduates. Please take a quick look, okay? All of the graduates that chose to continue their studies chose and were chosen by top of the top, cream of the cream, world leading universities. What can I say? You see, MIT, Stanford, Berkeley, Boston, UCL, even Manchester is a very good university for chemical engineers. Okay, Imperial College, Tokyo. So our students were not just desperate to find a job and they found a random university to go for a master diploma and suspend their entrance to the job market. No, okay, they chose further studies in top universities, and these diplomas, you know, they will ensure them top salaries and position in the job market. And at Nazareth University, we pay a lot of attention in student life and in the well-being of our students. There are many opportunities for you. You know, there are many groups, dancing, singing, chess, sport groups. Okay, we have excellent facilities, sport facilities, you see, consultation, classrooms, and the facilities are improved, let's say, day after day, year after year. We have a lot of chapters, okay, that they connect you internationally with relevant also organizations, and they give you extra opportunities. You see our students here in the lab, okay? I'm very pleased to see them that they feel happy, you know, and they enjoy their time there. Okay, they have many opportunities for internship in large companies. Okay, and we have a career and advising center to support our students in their choices regarding the career path and their future. You see now some photos from their international traveling. Okay, first one, for example, visiting Wisconsin, Madison. We have collaboration with the university. Okay, you see many photos, okay, and these are just the recent ones. And as they like to say at Nazareth University, study hard but party harder. So, and I want to show you quickly some of our graduates. You see Aishulu, okay, took her master degree in MIT, now being a PhD candidate at Stanford. Okay, you understand what will be the starting salary for her. I hope so. If she does not become a university professor. You see also some statements from our students. like from my career, Imperial. Daniel, you know, he chose to go to Italy. He liked Italy. He found a university for a master degree in Italy. You see Ruslan, okay. Ruslan, you know, he's a crazy guy. Allow me the expression. He likes to lead, let's say, an interesting and challenging lifestyle. Working, you know, in these large platforms in the open ocean. And not I believe, I remember him telling me one story where he was actually kidnapped in Latin America. Okay, all these photos are real, okay? Again, I emphasize on this fact, And you see Tamerlan, he chose, you know, to become a data scientist at Apple, okay? You see Aslan Berkeley, and Daniel, I remember Daniel personally. You see knowledge and research experience from a new chemical engineering department helping to successfully conduct projects. Now he's working as a reservoir engineer. He's really happy visiting us from time to time. Azad, my first master diploma student, okay, working at Schlumberger. Tahmina, and some others, of course, okay, chose to stay with us and work at the department as teaching and research assistants. So, moving on, I would say that chemical and materials engineering department is the greatest place to start your career. But as I used to say at the end of such speeches, you know, do whatever you like, okay? Because if you choose something that does not suit your character or your interests, studying and working, of course, in the future will be really boring and difficult. But if you believe that our discipline suits your interest, is appropriate for you, please do not hesitate. Join the future and study chemical and materials engineering with us. Thank you very much again for this opportunity. Okay, do not hesitate to contact me if you would like, I don't know, some clarifications or to organize another event. Okay, and I will give the speech to Professor Marsili, who has a very interesting tale for the department. And at the end, we will have the chance to answer to some questions, okay? Because I see a lot of messages now at the chat. I believe at the end, me and Enrico will answer questions regarding the discipline, and of course, the Aida from school office can give you some details about admission processes. Enrico, please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, of course, I was not asking a request from the response from the student because there are too many. We will talk later during the question and answer. Thank Stavros for introducing the department. My name is Enrico Marsili. I joined Nazareth University in January 19, so a couple of years ago. And I've been teaching there and doing research for the last 2 years. I'm currently in Italy due to the pandemic situation. But of course, we keep working in Nazareth University. I'll present you today a small story that is related to chemical engineering. It's a research area in which I work, which is antibiotic resistance. I will show you that chemical engineering is not just oil, like many of us still think, but it's a very diverse profession that span from life sciences, material sciences, environmental science, to basically almost every application in industrial engineering. So Stavros already introduced some of the general concept about chemical engineering. I will just tell you that most of my ex-students, not from Nazareth University, from other universities where I taught before, work in the biopharma, biomedical, a couple of them in food, few of them in bioenergy, biomaterials, and a couple of them open environmental firm for consulting. Actually, one of them just joined medical school last month. So I think that I more or less I can tell some stories for what happened after graduation in chemical engineering if you decide to go the bio road. I will not discuss other road because already been very well presented by Stavros. So that salary figure, it's mandatory. You know, you need to convince you that chemical engineering is a rich pot of gold, and indeed it is. I've been also in the private sector for a year and a half, and I enjoy quite decent financial treatment. Plus, it's a challenging work. So absolutely, I don't regret a single moment my choice so far. By the way, I chose chemical engineering when I was 16 years old, exactly during one of these motivational speech or so. A guy arrived, I was in high school, arrived presenting engineering faculty from Rome, Italy. I was a student there. And at the end of the presentation, there was no PowerPoint, actually, just a couple of drawing on the board. He asked us, what do you want to be later? I raised my hand and say, chemical engineering for sure. And here I am after nearly 30 years. So it's a great route. What is important in chemical engineering for me is that it's a science projected to the future. The future, again, is not fossil fuel, at least a small part will be fossil fuel, but it's more about modeling, simulation, big data, in which chemical engineering take a large role, things like 3D printing and materials. Everything that starts with bio will be definitely important in the next 10 years, as the pandemic experience just show us. So chemical engineering put you in a very good position for what concern these growing sectors. My previous experience, I was born and raised in Italy. I was educated there in chemical engineering when I get my bachelor, master, and PhD in University of Rome. Then I started traveling, I went to US, then in 2005 back to Netherlands, US again, a bit of Canada, then Ireland, then Singapore, then finally Kazakhstan. Yes, I like to travel, and I think that the scientists are either global or are not. So science is a global issue, is a global enterprise. And if you are mobile and you're able to tackle new challenge every day, not only you will have a better rewarding, but also quite a lot of fun. Anyway, of course, I'm not talking about myself. I'm just introducing this, and I told you a modern chemical engineering research story. Let's talk about antibiotic resistance. You are all familiar, especially after COVID time, with wash your hands, observe distancing, stay away from people that are sick and so on. Why we do this? We do this because we want to stop spreading infections. Of course, we know at the back of our heart that if you got an infection, we will be cured. We'll be cured with what? Well, for COVID, it's a bit more complicated, but for standard infections like bacterial infection, like streptococci, pneumococci, the bacteria you probably heard when you go to your general practitioner, we got what is called antibiotics. Antibiotics is one of the biggest inventions of humanity. It's a natural product that comes from certain fungi, and after refinement and packaging, it's great to kill pathogens in our body. So we are able to get rid of a dangerous infection which will be lethal if left uncured, and we can restore in a few days our normal life. However, antibiotics is a great resource, but it's also a limited resource. There's only a small number of antibiotics still effective. Why? Because bacteria, the little organ that cause the infection, are able to fight back antibiotics as soon as they see it. So antibiotics are chemical compounds. It's like to give someone a poison. That someone eventually will develop a resistance to that poison. So bacteria are able to counteract an antibiotic measure very quickly, within months or even within weeks. And the problem is that it's not just a single individual that get this antibiotic resistance, but all the individual, because bacteria transfer from individual to individual, from animals to individual, from soil to individuals, spreading this dangerous antibiotic resistance. There are two solutions to antibiotic resistance. Of course, developing new antibiotics, and which is difficult and is very time consuming. The other way is to develop creative strategies to substitute or limit the use of antibiotics. And that's where my research kicks in. So in order to do that, we need to understand what are antibiotics. Antibiotics are natural products that so come from microorganisms against other microorganisms. They are chemical compounds. They have a certain lifetime. They can be degraded. They are not they're not completely stable, and they kill not only the pathogen but also good bacteria. So if you take antibiotics for a long time, you can have problems in raising the infection from other bacteria that are normally just quiet in your body. Think about genital infection or about gut infections, things that are quite common at any age, actually. So after years of research, we find that there is not a single good strategy to fight antibiotic resistance. No one is able to give you one single solution that works. So we need to develop a very creative and novel approach together, all together with scientists. So scientists that work in microbiology, in animal science, in chemistry, in health, of course, in society, anthropology, and so on. And of course, chemical engineering play a big role in this fight. So it's an incredibly collaborative effort, it's a multidisciplinary effort. Therefore, the fun is much bigger. So these are some approaches that I will show you that help to minimize the use of antibiotics, which is a scarce resource, and minimize the emergence of antimicrobial resistance or antibiotic resistance, which is a major health threat for the next 25 years or so. The first is virus. Now, not all viruses are bad like COVID. Some virus kills only the bacteria. They are completely harmless to human, but are able to infect only bacteria. These are called bacteriophages. Bacteriophages are viruses, as you see in the picture, that enter the cell, destroy the cell, and use the cell to replicate themselves. If they do this in human cell, it's a problem for us. If they do this in bacteria, it's a problem for the bacteria. So by a creative use of these bacteriophage, we can avoid the use of antibiotics and kill bacteria as effectively as we do with antibiotics. However, there's a bad side of the story. Pathogens, bacteria, bad bacteria are able to develop resistance to this virus with time. So it's not enough. It's a good strategy, but it's not the final strategy. We need to be more creative. So we think of some other approach that are based on the greatly developed and recently awarded Nobel Prize CRISPR technology. I'm pretty sure that you guys are familiar with CRISPR, at least from the newspaper. You see the Nobel Prize winner. You maybe learn a bit. Let's say that for the practical purpose, without having a training in it, is like to take a genome, which is a double string of two strands of DNA, and you are able to open up in certain part, cut, and paste. So you can modify at will, without leaving any special trace, piece of genome. Why this is important? It's important not only to develop a new cure, new medical approach, but also to substitute bad pathogen with good pathogen. So if you take a bad sequence from the DNA of a bacteria, the sequence that produces something that damages you, that causes infection, you can replace a bad bacteria with a good bacteria. And if you plant this good bacteria in the body, if you inject, it works in animals so far, you are able to minimize the infection. You are able to decrease the mortality of the infection, so the immune system, our natural defense, can handle it. That's another interesting strategy. How you do that? You make this bacteria sensitive to antibiotics. Now imagine that you have two populations in your body, bad bacteria, good bacteria. Good bacteria means that they are sensitive to antibiotics. If they all grow at the same rate, eventually you will have an infection that is constituted by bad bacteria and good bacteria. But if the good bacteria grow faster in your body, you will have a prevalence of good bacteria. So you are able to treat this bacteria with antibiotics, therefore resolving the infections in a shorter time with lower risk for the patient. That's a very interesting advanced method. Another method is to use probiotics. And in Kazakhstan, you are full of probiotics. Why? Because you have a lot of cows, horse, and camel. Probiotics are mostly extracted or produced by lactobacilli, good bacteria that are found in the rumen of many animals, like cows, camel, and horses. And at Nazareth University, we have a couple of leading researchers in the field. One of them is Almagul Kushkulova, that works with the designing novel probiotics for healthcare. How they work? Basically, probiotics work in two ways. First, they are good bacteria, so they are completely harmless to us. There's no way that you can get infected by them. What they do, they kill the bad bacteria, and they are able to starve them by taking away all their food. So you're drinking yogurt, well, passing bacteria from the other side, let's put it this way, through what is called fecal transplant, you are able to increase the amount of good bacteria in your body, therefore decreasing the infections, and therefore you don't need any more antibiotics, or you need less antibiotics, so you are causing less antibiotic resistance. And as a chemical engineering, many of us are involved in these projects around the world. Our job is to grow lactobacilli in large amount and make it commercially available to most people. So we need to design the conservation chain, the formulation chain, and so on. This is a very good work. So this is just a few examples. I want to keep it short because I want to leave more time for questions. In summary, I'm pretty sure you know, I don't need to convince you that antibiotic resistance is the next big challenge for mankind once we are done with COVID and the economic crisis that will follow immediately after. Now, years of research have shown that there is not a single solution to manage microorganisms resistant to antibiotics. Therefore, we need a creative approach that requires a deep understanding of biology and chemistry, but also a very productive oriented mind that is able to scale up the solution from a small laboratory to the whole mankind. So it's not just to invent something nice, but make available to everyone at a reasonable cost. And that's exactly the point in which chemical engineers come in. So chemical engineers play a strong role in developing sustainable solution and affordable solution to fight antibiotic resistance and deliver the drug that the products that decrease antibiotic resistance to the market. So I'm ready to take your questions, and if you want to write me for further clarification, information about projects, career opportunities in this area, please write me at Enrico Marsili at nu.edu.kz. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor. So, dear students, if you have any questions regarding the presentation, regarding the Chemical Materials Engineering Department, regarding admission requirements, you are more than welcome. You can use your microphone, also a chat box. Okay, so we have here one question. What about entrance requirements for alumnus 2022? The students, though the requirements are the same. For this year, the deadline of submission of admission documents are April 19. So all the entry requirements are in our website. So Lunara will provide you in the chat box the address of website with entry requirements. So any other, so here's questions. Okay.
Sorry,
okay, don't have questions.
there any change because of canceling SAT subject tests?
Could you repeat your question? Sorry.
Does there any change because of closing SAT subject?
For now, we do not have any updates, but so please follow our website and our social Instagram and Facebook, so there will be all the announcements there. So about SAT, so no, we don't have any updates. Sorry for that.
Okay. No problems.
The same requirements, the same points, everything the same. Okay. How important is physics for computer science? I'm asking because I didn't study physics in high school. So guys, the mathematics and the physics is essential subjects for School of Engineering and Digital Science. But if you are, for example, choosing chemical engineering department, so chemistry will be, the chemistry should be there. And for computer science, of course, computer science classes. But for NIS certificate, we have here as a requirement that all the subjects are okay, but for engineering and the digital science, yeah, physics and mathematics is as the main subjects will be. Any other questions, guys? Thank you very much for your presentations. It was valuable to hear such information. Okay, you're welcome. Yes?
So I was wondering, is there an option at Nazareth University to conduct a research for an undergraduate student? Of course, with the help of a professor. I mean, is that even possible? I mean,
yes,
yep.
yes, let me answer this. Of course, there are many opportunities. Our undergraduate students are involved in research, real research, okay? And they are also involved in real projects.
Okay,
And,
okay, thank you. And also,
okay. Enrico also mentioned about, okay, working in the lab.
Okay, yeah. And I also wanted to ask you, do you have any advices for high school students who are planning to maybe apply for this school? Maybe we should start doing some extracurriculars towards this particular field, or maybe just apply for some internships. What would you advise? What would you, which advice would you give us?
Enrico, you want to?
I can answer, yes.
Yeah.
That's a good question. It's always nice to be proactive. So my suggestion is that you should contact the person that seems doing the research that you like most and have a frank conversation with him or her. Because it is true that it's about taking the right course, but also connecting with the right people. I found it absolutely valuable when I was an undergrad student to have some professor to talk with, because they really help you guiding through the vast amount of information that you have. So you can have multiple people at that, ask various suggestions around, and then take your own decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So another question here. If for admission I send predicted scores for my A-level exam by chemistry, math, and etc., then when I must send the real results, in which months? Can you tell me more details about it, please? Okay, so A-level documents should be submitted until April 19, not predicted, real ones. So all the real certificates, real grades should be submitted until April 19, 2021. So I think it's clear for you. Also, Lunara here provided the link for entry requirements. So please have a look. Any other questions? So you know that, yeah, for NIS students, the requirements are let me just revise you. So your IELTS and or TOEFL, IELTS 6.5 overall, from each section should be 6.0. Then TOEFL IBT 79 or TOEFL PDT 574. Also NIS 12 grade certificates, the grades should be their minimum A, B, B. We do not require special subjects, but for School of Engineering and Digital Science, it will be better to have math and physics, chemistry, all computer science. And interview is not required. Interview is required only for Olympiad winners category. So for secondary school, for A-level or UK Foundation Program category, we need also IELTS and TOEFL, 6.5 overall, 6.0 in each section. Then SAT reasoning test. This is the minimum requirement is 1,240. Essay is required, but no minimum score there. Then SAT subject test. For School of Engineering and Digital Science, we need math and physics, minimum 600 for each subject. Interview is not required. As I mentioned, interview is only for Olympiad winners category. So this is like a short introduction for you about admission requirement. Deadline is April 19. So any other questions, guys? Also, we would like to announce here that later in the February, our school is organizing special virtual open house days for each department. And the dates and the format link will be provided later. Please follow our website and our social media, Instagram and Facebook. Everything will be there. Also will be very interesting there. Every department will present their department. Any other questions about chemical engineering department, about School of Engineering, about research, so about maybe student life?
Dear Aida, do I have a couple of minutes for a game with students?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So these students, yeah, our professors are organizing very interesting game. So let's start.
And I will give also a short prize. Aida, please record the process to give me the winner. And taking this chance, I would like to send my greetings to an old student, Nursultan Maukanov, who sent me a message. I hope he's well. So I saw a question about, okay, if I have some problems in order to absorb science at the department and so on. Check. Regarding admission requirements, Aida is the most appropriate person to answer your questions. But if you enter our department, every student has an advisor, and we try personally to help all students. Okay, and let me now give you a small idea about how we are trying, okay, to teach our students. Unfortunately, I don't know any, I don't see anyone on the screen, you know, it's a bit not so convenient, okay, to talk to the screen. But you see the question, you know, when do we celebrate the Nanotechnology Day? Any answers? Let me put the screen, maybe I see some names. And you know, I'm always joking, okay? Maybe next, someone is thinking now, okay, Professor, you may ask us to guess the birthday of Enrico.
October 9th.
Who answered this?
I did.
Zamilia?
Yep.
Let me make a note. And why Zamilia show? You know, this is one of the questions that they seem, you know, not possible to answer if you don't know it already. Because you say, okay, I do not remember my own birthday. Should I guess now the celebration of nanotechnology?
Sorry, I think in the
Yes.
chat, the Madina Karakula was the first. She asked October 9.
Okay.
Before.
I don't know.
Sorry, may I make?
I don't know how the students
Is
say.
it because?
Yes.
Is it because nano is 10 to the power of -9?
Exactly, Azamat. Exactly, Azamat. And you know,
Great.
the clue in order to answer this question is that you can answer this question. Okay, it's not a random day out of 365 days. It is relevant, okay, to the nanometer scale. And that's why, as you pretty quickly answered, I hope you didn't use mobile phones, because plagiarism is really forbidden at Nazareth University. It is October 9, okay? And this date pays tribute to the nanometer scale, namely 10 at -9 meters, okay? So this is how we try, let's say, to guide you gradually to the final answer. So, Aida, you will provide me with a
Yes.
name later, and this student
Azamat,
will make.
right?
You please keep the name, okay? And I will contact the student with a small prize as a token, you know, of our appreciation for the contribution. Again, let me stop sharing 1 second. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Okay, you want to know something more about biomedical? You see that Enrico is an expert in the field. Write to us. We did not come to this session just to give 2 presentations, okay? And of course, if you need some extra information about admission procedures, Aida is the best one to answer. Thank you, Aida.
Yes. So first of all, Azamat, could you write to the chat your active email address? Then the next is, excuse me, I'd like to ask one question about admission to university. Ramazan Sahidjanov, you are welcome, yeah? We are hearing
yes. Most school students can be in reserve when they dial up minimum bands of, for example, NUFIPET, or minimum estimation of NIS certificate, for example,
Ramazan,
ABB.
the connection is... Ramazan, could you repeat your question?
Okay. For example, most school students can be in reserve when they dial up minimum bands of NUFIPET, or, for example, minimum estimation of NIS certificate. And how many bands I should dial up to guarantee myself to the admission?
Okay, I understood. So the places, the number of places for grant, it is will be announced later, because we are waiting for the reply of Ministry of Education of Republic of Kazakhstan. So they will fix the exact number of grants. Then regarding of these numbers, we will create the list. I mean, first of all the students who met the requirements will be listed to the ranking list. For example, we will have, if we have like 500 applicants, all the 500 applicants will be ranked. Then we will wait for the announcement of ministry. So the ministry will tell us, for example, 300 grants for School of Engineering. So we will cut first 300 students from the list. Other 200 will be listed in the waiting list. If among the 300 students, some of them will be rejected by himself or some other cases, so the students, the applicants from the waiting list will be raised up instead of these rejected students. I mean, rejected by themselves students. So this is the system. About the number, now I cannot tell you. So we will wait for the official announcement of Ministry of Education. So this is.
Yeah, I understood. But in most cases, for example, last year or the year, or for example, 2 years ago, I think how many bands to pass the exam? I need to pass the exam. For example, of
what do you mean NIFIPET? So what do you mean about NIFIPET? This is for foundation you are asking, or for direct admission to School of Engineering and Digital Science?
Both.
Because NIFIPET, it is examination for foundation, not for the School of Engineering.
Yeah, I understand. The minimum is 120 bands, and
yeah, I understood. But for foundation is another, I mean, another school, another department. So they have their own requirements, their own deadlines. So I'm very sorry, but I don't know their requirements. But for School of Engineering, if you are NIS students, so you can, if it is like you are going to apply for direct admission, we need from you only IELTS certificate and NIS certificate. These two certificates we need. That's all.
Okay, I understand.
But NIFIPET is for foundation. But I know that for foundation, the deadline is over. So could you just check it with admission department with call center? Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Guys, if you have any questions in Russian or in Kazakh, please, you are welcome. Maybe among us, there are parents or teachers here. So, yeah, вы можете задавать также вопросы на русском, на казахском языках. Да, не только на английском. Мы можем как бы ответить. Так что, если есть вопросы, пожалуйста, задавайте. So here, okay, Lunara has provided all the necessary information here, links. So please check there. Есть еще вопросы, ребята? К профессорам, может, какие-то вопросы по программам, про исследования, лаборатории, может, какие-то вопросы есть, по оборудованию, гранты. Yes, you're welcome.
About the foundation program, I was wondering whether you have to pass the foundation requirements for other faculties, and no, I understand so that if you want to apply for chemical engineering, you don't have to pass for foundation requirements, but if you want to go to other faculties, you have to choose the foundation program, but it's over this year. Yeah.
You mean that as I understand, you applied for parallel. I mean, for foundation and for direct admission, right?
I guess.
Okay, so it's good. Yes, a lot of our applicants are doing the same. They are applying to foundation and for direct admission. So foundation results are over. So if you rejected, I mean, if you could not apply there, so the direct admission is started. But for direct admission, you know that the requirements are not the same. You need to have IELTS, TOEFL, and NIS certificate if you are an NIS student, right? So have you already applied?
No. Okay, I'll search for it. I'll look it up.
Okay, fine. Good luck for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, any other questions? Yes.
Maybe I'm repeating the question, but
it's okay.
So there is a rumor that the college board is going to cancel the SEDS subject exams. So
I understand your question. Okay. So if there is an official will be cancellation, like last, for example, last year in the March, because of this quarantine situation, all the test centers are closed. So then we, Nazareth University decided to accept from our applicants Duolingo test instead of IELTS as an alternative. Then instead of SAT, we decided to accept ALEX test. But for this year, we do not have any official announcement yet. But if, yeah, of course, the cancellation will be the official. So we will change our requirements later. And you will be emailed, you will be announced, and everything will be in our website and our Instagram, Facebook pages. Please just follow this. Keep calling us, keep writing to our emails. We will inform you if so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yes, students, any other questions? Also, I would like to tell you that we have at our school, we have a lot of academic mobility programs. For now, of course, for this year, all our academic mobility programs are changed their format to online, but we hope that from the next year everything will be okay and we will change to offline. I mean, academic mobility programs, these are when our students have like student exchange programs for abroad. I mean, for example, for bachelor degree, we have students who studied in France, in US universities, also in Eastern Europe country universities, also in Asia university. So this is a very good opportunity for our students. Also, we have a lot of contracts bilateral with other universities. So this is very possible and very good opportunity for our students. Also, we have like a very nice campus, also a new sport athletics center. You have in our official website, there are a lot of pictures and 3D tours to that from our campus, so you can look at it and just enjoy our campus views. Yes, we have just one. Жанна Hamzina is rising. Yeah, Жанна, could you can ask your question? Okay, so if you have any questions. Okay, guys, if you do not have any other questions, so we would like to thank you, first of all, our dear professors who gave us like a very nice and useful presentation. Then very thank you for our dear students, applicants of our high schools, and your teachers who helped us to organize this session. And I would like to thank to my colleague Lunara Sakieva, who organized all these technical issues of today's meeting. So Azamat, the professor, will contact you. I will give your email to our professor. Thank you very much for coming, for participating today's our meeting. If you have any questions, Lunara will provide you here our email address. You can write anytime and you can call us. We wish you good luck. We wish you good luck, and we would like to see you among our students next academic year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.